and welcome to the show. Today is week 6 of the Texas high school football season. I'm your host of the COVER1 show, Matt Trammell. Of course, my co-hosts, James Bellini and Ryan Chadwick. We'll go ahead and bring them in. James, we'll start with you. You got an exciting game you're going to go to. I know you're chomping at the bit. So are you ready for some football?
Absolutely, man. This is a top 10 matchup. This is probably going to be one of the better games. You know, even though district's starting for a lot of teams, this game right here is probably going to be a barn burner. It's going to be one of the best games of the season until we get to the playoffs.
Of course, we won't spoil it, but we're talking about Stephenville and Brownwood. On the other hand, Chadwick, you got a rivalry game tonight, Mason versus Wall. You're not going to Central, so it's going to be a little bit different for you.
Yeah, the Bobcats are off this week. They're taking their bye week, so I'm not taking a bye week, though. Whenever Central's off, I usually go and cover the Hawks, so I'll be in Mason tonight, and I'm excited for it.
All right, before we get into all the action, we'll let you know that this show is brought to you by the Bass Bunch. So with that, let's go ahead and hear a word from them.
Do you have a child with special needs? Well, we have a special day of fun just for you. It's the Fall Festival for Children with Special Needs, sponsored by Jim Bass Ford and San Angelo Live. Join us at Jim Bass Ford Thursday, October 26th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for games, prizes, refreshments, and candy. Free for children with special needs and their families. The 2023 Fall Festival at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road. Don't miss it.
All right, of course, let's go ahead and get into some of the action. The very first game that we're going to be talking about is the game that everybody in town is watching. Of course, with the Bobcats off, the second favorite team around here seems to be the Wall Hawks. And this week is rivalry week for the Hawks as they're playing the Mason Punchers. That's right. Going to be a good one down there at the Puncher Dome. Chadwick, this is going to be interesting. You're going to be down there. It's a little bit different from your normal spot, but are you excited?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. Whenever I don't get to cover what the Bobcats are doing, my next go-to is usually the Hawks, you know. So I was talking to Coach Guy this week, and he's excited that I'm coming out. I'm excited to watch them. But, yeah, it's going to be a really good matchup. Now, these two teams used to be in the same district. Obviously, Wall's a little bit bigger than Mason now, and so they're not in the same district anymore. But ever since 2018, they still try to play each other every year. So, you know, Mason's 5-0 on the season, and Wall's 3-1. Wall's quality opponent's a little bit higher than Mason's, but Mason's still a state contender, just right outside the top 10 in those 2A state rankings.
So the Hawks lost a game earlier this year to the Gymnet Indians, which is also kind of like a rivalry game for them as well, and lost in overtime. As for the Mason Punchers, they are undefeated. Where do you think that weighs?
I just, like I was saying, I think the quality of opponents the quality of opponents that Wall has faced is just a little bit higher than what Mason's had to deal with. They have a couple good wins, but they've also played some winless teams, you know. So I think that Wall really learned something about themselves against that Gymnet game. And of course, Gymnet is a division up in the same 3A classification, but still a little bit bigger than Wall when it comes to football. They still took that game to overtime, and honestly, you know, take one bad throw away, and Wall probably wins that game, you know. So I think that Wall had a real, you know, it felt like a stab almost, like they lost to one of their rivals in Gymnet in the way they did, and it really showed the next week when they just really took it to Peaster, you know. And of course after that they had the week off, and I like I said, I was talking to Coach Guy this week, and he says that they're ready. He goes, Mason's big, but they're ready to go.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Get into Mason's side of the football. They say they're big, say they're aggressive. How do you think that's going to impact the game?
I think that the deciding factor in this game will be how does Wall's defense stand up to the big boys up front for the Punchers, and like the Punchers like to run the ball just like Wall does. So, you know, from start to finish, I might get out of there by 8:30. You know how?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a whole lot of running on the ground. That clock is never really going to stop, and it's going to be whoever can control time of possession better. If Wall's defense can stay rested, I see the Punchers struggling in this one, but Jim Ned showed that if you out-physical Wall, then you're going to have success, and so that's what Mason's going to have to do if they want a shot to win this game.
Okay, one time. When and where?
This game is in Mason tonight at the Puncher Dome with kickoff set for 7 p.m.
Okay, and of course, our coverage for this game this week will be brought to you by Angelo Bowles. Since 1994, Angelo Bolt and Industrial Supply has served the Concho Valley for 29 years and counting. Angelo Bolt is the go-to place for fasteners, power tools, air compressors, safety equipment, and everything in between. Chances are, Angelo Bolt will always have what you need when you need it. And in that rare chance that they don't have that odd fastener or special part you're looking for, they'll find it fast. No request is too big or too small. Angelo Bolt at 808 Warehouse Road, where customer service is their top priority. Thank you, Angelo Bolt, for bringing us the action tonight for Wall and Mason. Okay, we're going to keep moving with this thing here. All right, moving on to our next game. This is going to be one of the best games in the state of Texas. Everybody in Texas has their eye on this one, so COVER1 had to be there, and that is the matchup between the Brownwood Lions and the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. James, you're going to be down there. Get the folks ready for this one.
Yeah, I think when Brownwood kind of came back this year, they graduated. They're kind of like San Angelo Central. They graduated a lot of their offense, but they kept their quarterback, Ike Hall, who is a talented playmaker for them down there. On defense, they have some legitimate prospects on defense. Quentin McCarty, defensive tackle, and Marcelo Hooker, I think he's a defensive back. They're lights out. That defense plays fast, plays hard. They are top of the line down there. I've talked to their defensive coordinator a couple times. He's said they're going to be good this year. They're going to be great, and so far so good. They're 5-0. Stephenville, they're 3-2. The common opponent between these two is Abilene Wiley. I think Stephenville lost by 7 to them, I believe. It was a close game, but Stephenville quarterback has thrown for like 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and he's got a favorite target. His name is Tristan Gentry. That's what it was. He is 700 yards and like 10 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that. They are playing lights out on offense. This game, Brownwood number 7 in the state, Stephenville number 9. It's going to be a great matchup. It's apparently sold out. There might be some Stephenville tickets left. Maybe not by the time, we're done with the show, but the game is sold out. It's going to be great atmosphere at Gordon Wood there tonight, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, I was actually about to lead with that, James. I was saying we actually got word from Brownwood ISD that the game is, in fact, sold out. So you want to talk about an electric atmosphere. And what does this mean for playoff implications down the road when you have 2 top 10 teams in 4A, matching up, going against each other? How will this help whoever wins and whoever loses down the road?
Well, they matched up last year, too. I'm not sure about who won or lost that game. But it didn't really matter. I don't think they matched up again. This could get you in, obviously playoff seeding is important. And in, Brownwood's district, they're playing Lubbock Estacado, and every win counts, every point counts. If it comes down to that points or differential or whatever, Brownwood obviously wants to win. So I don't know if you can tell by the colors I'm wearing. I'm a Brownwood fan. I'm ready for it.
James,
all right, James.
I'll just let me interrupt real quick. That game last year, Brownwood lost 42-21. Does that change your mind?
Absolutely not. Brownwood's going to get them this year.
All right, James. Well, go ahead and let us know when and where this one's at.
This one's in Gordon Wood. They're in Brownwood, Texas. At 7 or 7:30? 7:30, I think.
7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m. All right.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm ready for it.
James, you sure are. I already know. James was talking about this one all week long, but we can't keep going without letting you know who's going to be the sponsor of this game tonight, and that is Hartman Roofing. If you want to stay in the game, don't get beat over the top. At Hartman Roofing, the proof is in the roof. From residential houses to commercial buildings, Hartman Roofing is the roofer you can trust to do it right the first time. Get a quote today. Call Hartman Roofing at 325-653-2888. Sorry, folks. All right. Next game we're going to, it's going to be another rivalry game, Chadwick. It is going to be between the Sterling City Eagles and Water Valley Wildcats. Last year, this game was a little out of hand. Of course, Water Valley lost that one 42-14. But I think, last year, Water Valley had a lot of adversity they had to go to when, you lose your head coach to something as serious and tragic as, cancer is. But so I think this year they're going to be a little more prepared than what they were last year just because they had to deal with all that stuff. I don't know if it's going to be still a very, very close game, but I think it's going to be more competitive than most people are, giving it credit for.
Well, Matt, and I will say this: like those records look a little bit lopsided on opposite ends of the spectrum there, and the Wildcats are sitting at 1-3 on the season, but it doesn't really tell the whole story because like Water Valley has lost their 3 games that they've lost by a combined score of 16 points. You know, so kind of like the Bobcats this year, they're all 1-score games. And so Water Valley can play. Do you think that means anything? Like, do you think that they'll be able to stand up to Sterling City's defense?
We know they have weapons. We gave our very first week player of the week to the running back out there in Water Valley. I mean, they have playmakers. So all they have to do is go out there and execute. And if they do that, they can get this thing close. And if they can keep this thing close, they can have a chance at doing this. But if they let Sterling City get ahead by a couple scores, it's going to be really hard for them to make it back.
And that's the thing with Sterling City too. Like they're like Wall in a lot of ways. They like control time possession. They want to out physical you. They really want to ground and pound. Like what is Sterling City going to have to do to make sure that they're the ones who are going to take this home?
Well, they have to go in there and do what they're built to do. They're going to go in there. They're going to run the ball heavy. They're going to play really good defense, really sound defense. I think they are probably the favorite in this one. So when you're the favorite, you have to go take care of business. If you don't, that's how you get those creep ups, and you never know how that thing could happen.
And of course, these two are in the same district, so this is the opening district game.
First district game.
Yeah, for these two squads out there. Both former 6-man teams, now 11-man. Getting after it again. And Matt, go ahead and tell us when and where it's at.
This game is going to be in Sterling City. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock, 7:30?
I think it's 7:30.
7:30? Yeah, 7:30 kickoff. So make sure you go out there. Of course, if you don't make it out there, don't worry, because we will have all the highlights on our Cover1 halftime and our Cover1 post-game show. Okay, let's move into our next team. But before we do, I want to let you guys know that our Water Valley game this week is brought to you by Intertel. Intertel is a proud sponsor of Cover1 football. Intertel has been providing cutting-edge but proven technology for homes and businesses in the Concho Valley. Just like the game of football, good defense is important to winning. Need a security system or camera? Get a free quote today by visiting Intertel.com or by calling 325-658-8375. Okay, now let's get into our next game, which would be the very best Falcons taking on the Paint Rock Indians. And moving on to our next game, it is going to be one here in the Concho Valley, going to be a good one. An undefeated very best taking on a 4-1 Paint Rock. We're going to figure out who's the best team for 6-man here in the Concho Valley. James, we're just going to kick it straight to you, man. Tell us about this game.
Oh, answer your first one. I think very best is probably the best 6-man team in the Concho Valley. But hey, they have super sophomore out there, Bryce Martin, who just does his thing. I think he's got like 11 touchdowns so far already. And he's quarterback, running back, receiver. He's whatever they need him to be. Of course, their quarterback is a very good player as well. He won a couple of weeks ago. He won. Dave Campbell's 1A or 1A quarterback of the week. So very, very good players out there at very best. We could, obviously Jonesboro and May are two of the top, 1A teams coming into this year. So once we hit the playoffs, we're going to see how good they really are. Paint Rock, on the other hand, it's hard to find stats on them, but hey, they are 4-1, so it's going to be a really good one. This could be a, high-powered, high-scoring game here.
Well, and my takes, James, if you want to read them, by the way, they're right below us. If you're watching this on San Angelo Live, you can see all of our takes. And on my takes, I said this one's very simple. This thing's going to be over quick, fast, in a hurry, 45. Convince me otherwise.
Very best is perfect on the season, and Paint Rock's 4-1. They both played pretty good schedule so far. I don't think it's going to be a 45. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, probably in the hundreds somewhere. It's probably not going to be like 192, but it'd probably be like I think I said like a 65 to 45 game. It's going to go all the way. This isn't going to be over at halftime. They're not going to 45 them. This is going to be a hard-fought game throughout.
Okay, then final question here before we move on. When and where's this thing at?
And this game is in Paint Rock tonight at 7:30.
7:30, that's right. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Of course, I want to let you know that this show, our very best portion of this broadcast, is brought to you by Texas Bank. Locally owned and governed, Texas Bank is a proud sponsor of Cover1 Athletics. Just like the guys on the field, Texas Bank wants to show you what it means to be a team. From checking to savings to personal loans to commercial loans, Texas Bank is here for San Angeloans with 3 convenient locations. So when thinking of where to bank, make sure you use the local guys at Texas Bank.
The 2023 Nissan Altima can accelerate your life with a thrilling performance, a style that is elevated, and all the technology you should ever need. Now is the time to get behind the wheel of a new Nissan Altima. And right now, you can get $4,000 off MSRP. At these savings, they won't last long. Don't wait. Come to Jim Bass Nissan, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Of course, thank you, Jim Bass, for being a proud sponsor of this show as well. Moving on, we're going to go to our coaches segment at this point. Reagan County, been having a really good season so far. Chadwick, I know you've been out there. Get the people ready for this interview.
Well, Reagan County is a bit of a mixed bag this year. They're super explosive on offense, and they have really good athletes on defense too. But especially at the beginning of the year, they had the tendency to kind of let teams creep back up on them. You know, like they were up 42-14 at one point against Wink in week 1, and Wink came back and beat them. You know. Since then, Reagan County's kind of got it together, and they've won every game since. And so this is one of those really good teams out of West Texas in the Concho Valley that really has a chance to go somewhere. So we sat down with Coach Kyle Brown this week to talk about what it's like coaching his two boys that are playing on varsity. One's the quarterback, one's one of their best receivers, and one of their best safeties. You know, so I don't know. It was a great interview. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kyle Brown with the Reagan County Owls.
3, 2, 1. And welcome back. It's now time for our coach interview segment of the show. This week we have Coach Kyle Brown from Reagan County. Coach, first of all, you know, we haven't got to talk to you much yet this season, so let's just get that out of the way. How's the season going so far for the Owls?
It's going well. We started off in Wink and had a lot of adversity that game. We were up 42-14 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter and ended up losing. So we wasn't for sure how we would respond from that game. We came out and played well against Pregame. And we've had some struggles here and there, but we are, I think we're consistently getting better. Had our share of injuries that we're trying to overcome, but we're looking forward to Friday night at Kermit.
All right, Coach. Kind of talk about your offense here for a little bit. Your two of your sons, Kaysen and Jarrett, obviously play for you, but Kaysen is your quarterback, and I honestly think he's got tremendous size. I think he can really go do something with it. But talk about your offense, how you plan on attacking, Kermit this week.
Yeah, so we're spread, and Kaysen's always been able to throw. This year he feels a lot more comfortable running the ball, and that's made a big difference in our offense. Jarrett is a big playmaker for us, runs a really good routes, very smart, IQ-wise football, knowing how to get open. But against Crane, week 3, he ended up hurting his hand, so we haven't had him, and so we're trying to adjust. So, we have some younger kids that we believe can get the job done, but our scheme's kind of changed a little bit in adjusting for Jarrett's injury. So we're hoping these kids will step up, and not hoping, I think they will step up, and they're just kind of inexperienced. Raymond Saldivar has been very big for us. He's been explosive. He's a kid that last 2 years has been hurt, had a lot of bad luck, and he's been healthy this year, and he's really producing at an inside receiver for us. We also have some backs that are very talented. We just we've got to figure out moving forward what we're going to be best doing, and we think we've got a really good plan. And like I said, we're looking forward to testing it out against Kermit on Friday.
And Coach, defensively, you got a bunch of two-way stars, of course. Like I know that you got Jarrett was playing both ways out there, and so was AJ Avalos and whatnot. And you talk about basically improving from that Wink game, right? And it seems like y'all have corralled the opposing offense better and better each week. And just talk about your defense and the mental toughness that they've kind of developed over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, we've had a lot of adversity, on both sides of the ball. So we have some returning starters, but we have a lot of youth in the secondary. We've had issues with tackling. We've had issues with containing. It's just been a week-by-week process where kids show up and they work. that they enjoy being coached, and we're coaching them up every week, and we're continuing to improve. And that's part of the non-district schedule. We're finding out what our kids can do, what they're best at, what we need to improve on, and we've got one more test Friday night, and then it's the real thing with Forsand.
And I'll kind of get into that a little bit, Coach. Of course, this week, the rest of your district's off. You guys decided to take that last week. What is that? I guess, how does that get you guys ready for district, just having that one more tune-up game rather than, I guess, having a week off?
Well, it really wasn't the plan. There was a miscommunication with us and Kermit, so it's really not what you want. But, last year it came at a good time with injuries, and then this year it's kind of same thing. It was good for us because when we played Ariana, we didn't feel like we played very well. That was really our first game without Jarrett, so our offense really wasn't clicking, and so it allowed us to work on ourselves the last week, and I feel like we were able to correct a lot of our issues, and so it's nice, going in, and we got Forsand the following week. But there's also a shortage of officials, and we're having to play them on Thursday, so that's an issue in itself. So we don't have a whole lot of time here for Forsand, like everybody else in the district preparing for their first district game.
All right, Coach, I want to talk about your district. When I came out there and presented Kaysen with his Player of the Week award, you kind of said, hey, we're kind of on the outside of the Concho Valley. Does that kind of help you in district? Not a lot of teams maybe, I know y'all trade film and everything, but being out there kind of isolated, does that help you come district?
I don't think so. I don't think it has any advantages or disadvantages. Where we're at, we're 70 miles from Midland, 70 miles from Angelo, so get a little bit of coverage from Midland and Odessa, a little bit from San Angelo, but there's not really one. We're really not the focal point of either one of those areas.
Coach, finally, talk to you after the scrimmage with Miles, and of course I talked to you after the McCamey game. And one thing that you kept hammering home was that this was a senior heavy team. You just really needed to see some leadership. You need to see these guys step up. And of course, in that Wink game, up big, ended up losing. In that McCamey game, you were up big, and you even said so yourself that they were kind of creeping back up on y'all. Since then, it just seems like y'all play a little bit better, and you deal with adversity a little bit better every week. Have you seen those seniors on your team step up and take more of those leadership roles, or have you seen those young guys actually? Are they the ones that have stepped up?
I think it's a little bit of both. We really, we only had 6 seniors on this team, so we're still really young. Raymond and AJ, Raymond Saldivar and AJ Avalos are definitely senior leaders. We've had a kid, David Correa, who's a senior, who's really stepped up and did a big for us this year. And then we have, on our team, I think we have 18 juniors, 17 juniors, something like that. So, even though we have youth or 6 seniors, we have a lot of experienced juniors that, some have been on varsity since their freshman year. So it's kind of been a mixture of just the junior and senior class.
All right, Coach, and then we always end the show on Cover 1 with final thoughts, so we'll go to you for your final thought. Just get the people ready in Reagan County, maybe in San Angelo, Midland, Odessa, wherever your fans are, get them ready for tonight's game.
Yeah, well, we actually play Friday, but we're homecoming for Kermit, so it's not a 2-hour trip. But we had, I think, against Ariana, that was our best crowd we've had at home in the last 3 years for sure. And so we hope we continue to get that support. I just know our kids are working hard. They act right. We're very proud of them, and I know our community is too, and we just hope you continue to support us.
All right, thank you, Coach Brown from Reagan County. Make sure you stay looking at our halftime show, post-game show for all the highlights from this game. So we're going to be out there, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
All right, appreciate it.
The Nissan Titan can get the job done by flexing its muscle, commanding attention, and tackling the big jobs head on. The fearless 2023 Nissan Titan full-size truck is the truck for you. Right now at Jim Bass, get a new Nissan Titan and get $10,000 off MSRP. At these savings, these trucks won't last long. Come see us today at Jim Bass Nissan, corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
All right, let's keep this thing moving. Now we're going to talk about our player of the week. Of course, before we get into it, we want to let you know that our player of the week is presented by Carpet Tech. We want to let you know that that Carpet Tech is a proud sponsor of Cover1 Athletics, and this year brings you the Cover1 Player of the Week. Carpet Tech is your local go-to carpet cleaner. Remember, if your home is in a wreck, call Carpet Tech. James, you went out to TLCA this week to give out our Player of the Week. I'll let you just kind of pitch and get into that, and then I'll let you just throw it straight into the interview. But you went and interviewed Lane Honey, quarterback of the TLCA Eagles. We're not even going to beat around the bush of who was it. It was a very, very, everyone kind of knew that this guy was the guy this week. So I guess what made the decision for him?
This guy could have been player of the week the past 2 weeks. He's put up incredible numbers just over these last few weeks. He was 18 or 29 for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns, 62% completion. If you look back, actually, over the past weeks, he has a 62% completion percentage, which is really, really good. They completely shut out Stanton. Yeah, this kid is a good kid. He's got offers from places already to go play, and he's just a really good player. Teammates were totally excited. Coaches were really excited, and they are actually going to get a Sharpie and all sign their name on the plaque, because they're, we all deserve, and Honey was down for it. So it was really cool going out there and talking to him, and he's a good kid. He's a good player, good kid, and he deserved it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go down to TLCA where James was with Lane earlier this week. Remember, this is brought to you by Carpet Tech.
So gross.
Right now, get 15% off carpet cleaning from Carpet Tech.
I'm here with quarterback of the TLCA Eagles, Lane Honey. Cover1's player of the week for last week. Put up over 300 yards, no interceptions against Stanton. Man, how's it feel? How's it feel?
It just feels good. I just know I did my job and got the ball to my playmakers, and they made me look good. So the O-line blocked for me, and it's a big team effort, and it's an award for really the whole team.
I know your teammates have been out here kind of ribbing you for make sure you give us our shout outs too.
Yeah.
So, but hey, your district kind of wide open right now, man. Obviously that's on y'all's mind. What's the goal for districts?
Well, the goal is always to win it. We were looking to get first always, and if that's not the goal, and we shouldn't be out here. But we just want to get in the playoffs, upset some people, and just make some history. Man,
as far as district, what about just your goal for this season as overall?
So overall, we just want to win out. It's 1 week at a time, one game at a time. Right now we're focusing on Brady, so we got to go 1-0 for Brady, and then we'll worry about Grape Creek the next week.
All right, man. And now, kind of getting into the realm of Lane Honey, what do you want to do personally? What's your goal personally?
Well, it's always been my dream to go play college football, and so I feel like I've put myself in a decent position to go have a shot at doing that. And the Lord's really blessed me to be in this position, and just got to have a good rest of the season, and I'll see where it goes.
All right. TLCA quarterback Lane Honey, Cover1's player of the week for week 6.
So gross.
Right now, get 15% off carpet cleaning from Carpet Tech.
All right, there was Lane Honey. What a great interview. What a great kid. So make sure you guys support the TLCA Eagles. Of course, before we move on to the picks, we want to tell you about our award sponsor for the season, and that's Yours Truly Engraving and Award. Every athlete has one thing Every athlete has one thing, and that's their eye on the prize, At Yours Truly Engravings and Awards, they offer engravings, plaques, trophies, and more. This year, Yours Truly will provide awards for all of our Cover1 football players of the week, and of course, our all-star team at the end of the year. So go see the folks at Yours Truly, 2438 Sherwood Way. Okay, guys, let's get into some of the picks. Before we get into them, though, we got to show off the pick standings. James, no longer in first place by yourself. That's right. James Bellini, 22-7. Scott Manchaca, also 22-7. Ernesto Rodriguez, 20-9. Yantis Green, 18-11. Ryan Chadwick, 17-12. Arlene Castillo, 16-13. Myself, also at 16-13. And then, of course, Lexi with 15-14. James, can you just mess up this week?
No, of course not. I don't pick homer picks. I don't pick, because I want the team to feel good. I pick who I think is going to win, and I'm brutally honest, and I stand by that, man.
Seems to be working.
I can sit here and coddle these guys.
You picked the favorite.
Oh,
in every matchup.
You mean who's going to win?
No,
That's
the
what
favorite.
You mean. No, you mean who's going to win.
This guy just doesn't believe in upsets, Matt.
There you go. I'm in. Well, let's go ahead and get into some of these picks,
Yeah, we're
guys.
different this week. We're a little different this week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Could be different this week. We'll have to see. Before we get into our picks, though, we got to tell you that this show is brought to you, or our picks part of the show is brought to you by the Pit Barbecue. The Pit's Picks, that's right, 2330 Sherwood Way is where you can find them. You can have everything from sausage wraps to pulled pork sandwiches, or you can have what Cover One crew's eating tonight, and that's some delicious pit pies. So go down there, 2330 Sherwood Way, and tell Jesse that we sent you. Chadwick, we're going to go to you first. Wall Mason, what you got?
Well, this is a rivalry game. It's going to be a big one. Wall's on the road, and I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Hawks are going to out physical and outplay the Punchers tonight, and I think they win this one. I got Wall winning 31-21. As for everybody else, it's a complete split slate this week with 4 picking Mason and 4 picking Wall. Myself, you, Matt, looks like Scott and Arlene are all going with the Hawks, with James, Yantis, Ernesto, and Kimberly going with Mason.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens with that. James, time to kick it to you. Brownwood versus Stephenville. What's your pick?
Obviously, Brownwood. Look at the shirt I'm wearing. Brownwood. I think their defense is just going to play really well. I think Brownwood's going to win it 42-35.
And that's actually the exact same score I had, too.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Great minds think alike.
What's everybody else's picks?
Matt decided to go against the grain. He went with Stephenville. And then we have Scott, Yantis, and Arlene all went Stephenville, and Ernesto went Brownwood.
All right, next game, we got Water Valley versus Sterling City. Going to be a good one, like I said earlier. If Water Valley can stay close, this thing could be competitive. But for me and everyone else here at the Cover One crew, we all have picked the same team, and that will be the Sterling City Eagles. Right now, they're just rolling teams. I think it'll just continue, but of course, we'll just have to wait and see. James, we're going to go back to you. Very Best versus Paint Rock.
Yeah, Very Best versus Paint Rock. Obviously, this is another very good matchup. There's one loss between both these teams, and Very Best is perfect. They got a great duo down there in their quarterback, Hunter Hallmark and Bryce Martin. I have Very Best winning this one, 60-something to 45. I cannot find my... Anyway, Matt, you have Very Best 45.
45 of them. They're done.
Chadwick, you have Very Best winning. Scott, Arlene... Or Scott, Ernesto, and Yantis all have Very Best, and Arlene has Paint Rock.
Ooh, going against the grain there on that one. Okay, we'll be right back with some final thoughts. We're going to go to the Bass Bunch just one more time.
Do you have a child with special needs? Well, we have a special day of fun just for you. It's the Fall Festival for Children with Special Needs, sponsored by Jim Bass Ford and San Angelo Live. Join us at Jim Bass Ford Thursday, October 26th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for games, prizes, refreshments, and candy. Free for children with special needs and their families. The 2023 Fall Festival at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road. Don't miss it.
All right, time to get some final thoughts here before we head out to all the big games. Chadwick, we'll start with you. Final thoughts before your big game.
Well, I'm not even going to talk about the actual matchup I'm going to tonight. I'm going to talk about all the teams that are on bye week this week. Guys, this includes the Bobcats. This includes TLCA. There's a bunch of different teams around the Contra Valley that are not playing this week. Use this time to consolidate your gains, get healthy, watch that couple hours of extra film, put in that extra work at practice so you can come back well rested off this bye week and really take it to your week 7 opponent.
James.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. There's a lot of bye weeks on for this week. district is coming up too, and a lot of these districts, if you've been reading the district previews, I feel a lot of these are wide open for a lot of teams. I feel, honestly, one of them could see a completely new set of teams go in. So get healthy. We know some of these teams are pretty beat up, but hey, use this week, get healthy, and get ready for district.
Well, I guess our final thoughts are on a bye week as well, but I'm not going to stick with the bye week. I'm going to go out to Midland. That's right, the Lakeview Chiefs taking on the Greenwood Rangers tonight. It's going to be a tough battle for the Chiefs, but this may be a winnable game, as Greenwood hasn't been able to really pick up any steam this year, but guess we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to have, we won't have highlights from the game, but we definitely will get everything and be looking for the results on that one, of course, on our scores page. Guys, this has been the Cover1 pregame show. We took you all around to the games that we're going to, and don't worry, there's going to be a lot more on our halftime and postgame show when those happen around 8 and 10 o'clock. For everybody here at the Cover1 crew, I'm Matt Trammell. For Ryan Chadwick, James Bellini, our scorekeepers, Yantis Green, and all our, of course, stringers, Arlene Castillo, Scott Manchaca, Ernesto Rodriguez, and so many more. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at halftime.